Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy and peaceful life. Based upon 108 mantras to awaken your soul. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita. My questions and God's answers. Today's series number 88. Know where does God live? Many people ask that question. So let's address that based on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Krishna says about it. And pranam to Hariharji Maharaj, Guruji, for his blessings, guidance, and his presence with us during the session, and guidance from Lord Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna Ji. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam, Path to Blissful Living. And with guidance of Guruji, this non-profit organization was established. And with his guidance, he said, go and give the message, spread the message to Bhagavad Gita in any way you like. He specifically asked me to write the books and go to the corporations. And with his blessing, we are here together. So thank you very much for joining this morning. Today, verse 15.15, chapter 15. This is also the most favorite verse of Hariharji Maharaj, which says, God lives in your psychic heart, in your heart. And we will be covering divine power of God in all. He is omnipresent, he is everywhere. Where does God live? Gita followers and spiritual people, they have a question, they will have a counter question to me. Tell me, where does God does not live? So God lives everywhere. That's where it says omnipresent. But many times people have questions. So we will address that. And how to increase your memory. That's a part of this verse. God's divine manifestation and his activities. The role of Vedas and Vedantas. Who is the founder of Vedanta? Vedas. And what are the benefits of knowing all this? God, where does he live? What does he do? Etc. And then, of course, we all have the favorite session at the end, practice and homework. And our sankalpa, I experience divinity in my heart. And meditation with question and answers. And let's all pray together to Bhagwan Krishna for asking for his guidance as Arjuna, who was confused, rejected, what to do and what not to do. Similarly, we face these situations every day in our life, most of us. At least I do. So, asking Lord Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna, give us the same guidance as he has given to Arjuna in the form of Bhagavad Gita, the wisdom. So we could go through that blissful journey just like Arjuna did And initially he said, Najo tasyati govindam. I will not fight this war, because he did not know that what kind of war he was facing. He thought it was just a Kurukshetra, because it was located in Kurukshetra, which is also known as the field of action. Kuru means action, so field of action. But with teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna made him realize that it's not just a bloody war, not just the regular action. It is the Dharma Kshetra, the war of righteousness, which we all face in our life. And we do not understand whether it's the righteous or war action, or it is the wrong action, and we just keep confusing ourselves because we are confused, because we are not connected. But if we are connected with supreme power, then we get the similar guidance. So let's all connect with Lord Krishna this morning, ask his guidance, divine guidance, with humble and surrender. Karpanye dosho pahat swabhava prashyami tvam dharma sammud chetaha yachhasayisyani nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapanyam shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapanyam. Arjuna said, my heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all my composure, and my mind is confused about my duty, my dharma. I am requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me. Not what am I asking, what is definitely good for me. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. Please instruct me. So let's start on that blissful journey together. Here, Guruji give us many quotations, which I put it together here, and where he said, Gita is a step-by-step spiritual instruction manual to righteous living. It guides us to know Mother Nature, Prakriti, where we live, our body, the supreme goal of our life, and how to attain it, which is eternal happiness, everlasting happiness, peace, and be united with supreme power and reach to the Dharam, Param Dham. Experience him in our heart. And which means we realize who we are. We are Satchitananda. We are no different than God. While living in this material world and beyond. So this blissful journey, going from our day-to-day status of mind, sometimes we are up, sometimes we are down, sometimes we are worried, and physically not feeling well, emotionally not feeling well. This is all called Vishad or lower self. How can we turn our Vishad into Prasad? In other words, reach to the highest self, where we experience his presence. So knowing his supreme power, this Bhagavad Gita with 700 verses, with 18 chapters, 3 main yogas, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. We have already gone through the Karma Yoga, how to perform our action righteously, from chapter 1 to 6. And then chapter 7 to 12, how to put love and devotion for God and in every activity, and for the benefit of all, not just for me. And now We are here with Gyan Yoga, chapter 13 to 15. Now we are on chapter 15. So 13 we learn who is the creator and what is a creation and where do we fit as a individual limited conscious being. When I say limited conscious being, which is constrained with a lot of issues and we cannot think straight. We are stressful, we are worried. So we limit our supreme power, which is given to us. And that's where it is called lower self. And then he also gives us the wisdom how to recognize our behavior, whether we are behaving like in the tamasic, in ignorance, or we are so much passionate that we forget who we are, which is rajasic. And then he guides us how to live the sattvic life, because sattvic life takes us to the higher self. And now know the Supreme Personality. So all this wisdom is taking us to our supreme goal, the essence, who we are. Just like an onion, when we peel the onion, one layer at a time, finally we reach to the sweetest part of onion. Otherwise, when we start, we keep crying because it's a lot of strong smell and aroma. So it gives the tears to our eyes. Similarly, our body gives us tears. We cry, we get upset because it is just like onions, so many layers. But once we are on this path, we continue to reach to the essence and we feel who we are. So chapter 15, Purushottam Yogo now. The path of realizing God as the Supreme Self, the Supreme Purushottama. We are all known as Purusha. Purusha does not mean male or female. Purusha means being, living being, Purushottama. But he is the Uttama. Why he is the Uttama? He is more than us, Purushottama, because he is omnipresent. He's everywhere. He takes care of us. He knows. He's the accountant of all of our karmas, and he decides what to give us when to improve uplift ourselves, purify ourselves, our conscious level. So he teaches us how to go from lower self here with all the Vishad to the Supreme Prasad, where we are totally at his Dham, Param Dham. And in this chapter, the very first thing he taught us how to go. We must go beyond our passion, attachment, because that is the cause of all of our miseries. So in this chapter, we learn who is the Supreme Man, who is this God, who is this Lord Krishna, what are his qualities, what does he do, and where does he live. Today, that is the focus of the chapter today. But before we go into that, just a small refreshing our memories that he tells us that I am the originator of everything and I am on the top. And the originator is what? It means the roots. Roots are on the top. This word is all, you see that plant and this tree upside down because this is the word. So the roots are up, the God is here, and the Srishti, the Prakriti is right here. And similar to our body, our mind is up, Our brain is up here on the top. Everything we do, whatever we think. And Steve Covey had put very nicely that thought leads to, I'm asking you guys on this part just to think about it. So thought leads to action. And what kind of action? Thinking is one of the action. Whatever we do, and those actions lead us to what? Our habit. They make our habits. Habit sets our lifestyle, and then it becomes our destiny. So if we eat wrong food, we might end up being sick. And this is all because I'm thinking about a lot of fried food and sweet stuff. And then when I eat, my body will reject. And then what happens? That part of the rejection is a part of diseases. So this is all my action. So I thought about some wrong food, to eat wrong food, and then what happens? Body suffers. So all the desires which are coming from mind are the cause of our miseries. So we have to pay attention what we think. We learned here that should be our goal. Our goal should be to reach to the place where we should not return. Does not mean that it is talking about only birth and death, that we die and we go to the place where we do not come. And of course, it is one of the loka, it is called Vaikuntha Loka. We are living in the Bhuloka, in Prathi Loka. But after that, little by little, we can rise up and go to the highest level. Not to the Patal Loka, not to the other lokas, but mainly the Vaikuntha Loka. And here, Bhagwan Ji have given the name of that. He tells us what does that loka is. Na tad bhasate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nirvantante tat dham paramam. My supreme abode, my eternal home is Param Dham, is the place where one does not return to the material world after attaining oneness with me, or getting liberation, or moksha, whatever you want to name it. But basically, that's what he means. And he says that loka, eternal happiness, वहां पर ये कभी खुशी कभी गम नहीं, कभी दुख नहीं, कभी, this is all, you are always in peace. But in chapter 28, he also refers to that. That's where he says, when you are doing the continuous mantra, your heart is filled. That's why I put it here, the heart. Your heart is filled with love and compassion and forgiveness, because mantra dissolves all the gile shikwe, all the previous complaints, memories. And that's where we are going to embark more on that one. But basically, we experience who we are. That is means that we are at the Paramdham. I might go to very briefly on this slide, because I did put it in the contents that who is God and what does God do. And God, he explains very well here about the lokas, that we are here at the Bhuloka. Here is the Patal Loka, which is the lower self, where living in ignorance and tamasic behavior, not knowing good and bad, and just incurring more and more bad karmas, the animal loka. But when we are in the continuously wanting more, getting more, wanting more, getting more passionate, and we continue to come back and forth, birth and death, which is the called Bhuloka. Continuous journey of birth and death. But if we have a sattvic nature, we do practice goodness, we behave according to the scriptures, guidance of the Bhagavad Gita, how to live our life, how to do good karma, how to do the live in love and compassion, with thinking about caring, sharing, everything which we have learned so far in Bhagavad Gita. Here it says, that's where the sattvic behavior is, and that's where it takes you to me, which is called Brahman, the highest, the Param Dham. So this is a pathway which we talked about it. But he also says that how this world is created. I am the light in the sun, in moon. I nurture the whole world, whole universe with the plants and moonlight and everything. But one thing we learn here, aham veshwanaro bhutva praninam deham ashita. Pranapan samayukta pachamanyam chaturvidam. I am the fire of digestion in the body of all living beings. And by the uniting with vital breath, I digest all kind of foods. Here it says 4 kind, but all kind of food. So here he's talking about how he takes care of our digestive system. How he takes care of all the diseases like ulcers and gallbladders and liver and everything. Because if we are connected, he digests the food, but he gives us the amrit, somras, not just the poison. Because when we eat something, body secretes many different type of juices. This is where called toxic, and basically many toxicity comes in the system, but he helps us to detoxicate ourselves if we are connected, because he's the one. He gives us the digestive power, which is pure divine energy. But with our thinking, the type of food we eat, our lifestyle, that amrit becomes toxic. And that's why we have a lot of toxicity in our system. So this is what God does. Now, this is the verse which we are today working on. We will be speaking about. I will be explaining. Where does God live? Sarvasya chaham hirdayi sannivishto matta smratir jnanmapohanam cha vedescha sarvairahmev vedo vedant krat ved videvichaham. He says, I am seated in everybody's heart. In other words, I am present everywhere. But here, not just your heart or my heart, in everybody's heart. There is another point to note. When God is present in our heart, why do we sometimes we have heart attacks, and people have that, and thanks God, I am safe so far. But and so all kind of heart diseases are there. If God is there, then why these heart diseases? And that's where he says, I am seated. What do I do? So it will explain further. I give smriti. See, Hirday sanne vishto. Smriti. I give the remembrance or the memory. Gyan mapohanam cha. I give the wisdom, knowledge, but I also, apohanam means forgetfulness. I give the state of unawareness, the forgetfulness. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. That's what he's saying. I'm the source of all cognition, memories, wisdom, and ignorance. He is the source. He says, I am the source of here. Ved videshe sarvairahmeva vedo. Vedanta krat ved videvcha. I am the author. I am the originator of all the Vedas, which Vedanta society practices. It is Vedic knowledge or spiritual knowledge, true wisdom. This is what the Vedas are. There are 4 types of Vedas, which I just put it here, different type of Vedas, but he is the originator. And he says, by all the Vedas, I am known to be, in other words, I have given the ultimate subject of the Vedas, understanding his divine nature. And what does Vedas teach? Vedas principles of non-duality. Means God and I are one. Aham Brahmasmi. Through the studies of contemplation of Vedas, we, individual soul, attains that who they truly are. They are Satchit Anand. They realize, they liberate themselves, and they realize that by realizing that who they are, they go beyond the cycle of birth and death and lead to eternal union. So here is a summary. Bhagwan Krishna gives the Vedas, Vedanta comes out of it, which means it's a non-duality, means the wisdom that I am beyond birth and death. I am not just the Nar, I am the Narayan, but how to become from Nar to Narayan. So freedom from pains and miseries, sanskaras, because we are built with Triguni Maya and we do a lot of actions, incur a lot of karmas, which is also known as sanskaras, and then turn into the birth and death, coming back and forth in this world. But by studying Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, we understand that we are beyond that. And then we practice. So where does God live? God lives in the heart of all. He's not talking about just our heart, physical heart. Although when he lives in our psychic heart, our physical heart is also healed, which is, we call it a heart chakra also in the body. But before it talked about digestive system, here he's talking about the heart. So Gita is not just the scripture, it is the science and spirituality connection. So whatever our physical body demands, he helps us with digestion, he takes care of our heart, and later on we will learn how he takes care of our throat and mind and all that. But one by one, he also mentioned previously, I give you the wisdom, I give you the courage, I give you buddhi yukto jahatiye ubhe sukra dushtata. I give you the buddhi to do the proper action. So in other words, I give you the wisdom. I help your brain and your mind. So he is in every pore of our body, in every karkan mein hai hamari body mein, in all the universe. That's why it is called the omnipresence. And then what happened to Smriti? He says, I give the Smriti, which I think I like to go to the next page here. How do we lose our Smriti? We should know that. How do we become forgetful? Here, there are many reasons are given here. These are all on the physical level, like stress, like aging, like taking the alcohol, not depriving from the sleep, and to overtiredness, and all kind of, and many medical reasons, diseases which cause the memory loss and all that. But in a regular basis, not going to the diseases, but in a regular life, why do we lose our memory? Because we are so stressful. We have so many desires, so many gile shikwe in our heart. We have so many resentment, too many things we think about it. that this person has done this to me, and this person has done this to me, and he said this, and I said this. We just kind of, and then I have such a long to-do list, and I have to take care of all these activities and all that. And now I put this one because this is many people, this study shows that this social media is causing a lot of problems we study in this memory. Now you might be asking the question that I am not going on the regular social media. I'm not in the movies. I'm not into the gossips. I'm not into this. I'm just on the, only I am on the spirituality. I listen to a lot of talks. I learn a lot of different meditations, different styles and all that. Let me tell you one more thing here, based my experience, and also a lot of data is coming, that even listening to too many spiritual talks and doing the meditation, we sometimes get very confused, because people, when they present their way, they might have the similar message, but based on our understanding, we might interpret it wrong. And then we try to say, okay, this person said this, and this social media said this, and then this other tape said this, and another sant said this, and all that. And it's just a confusing. That's why Bhagavad Gita says, go within, study Bhagavad Gita and go within. And then you do the manan, contemplation, and the answer will come from within you. And that's where here I put it here, that how to increase the memories. Of course, we have to take care of our healthy diet and adequate sleep and stress management and mental stimulation and social engagements and all these things. We need proper diet, we have to eat, etc. But spiritual practices are very, very important, like yoga, pranayama, meditation, chakra balancing. I put it here because here it's talking about third chakra. Previously talked about the digestive system, which is third chakra is responsible. It gives the energy for the detoxification. And then the fourth chakra, the heart chakra. So here, all these practices, but end of the day, we must study Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita, or any other scriptures. But that is the foundation. We get the theoretical knowledge, then we have to contemplate on it, we have to practice it. And then our memory loss will be minimum. Of course, with the age and all that, it might be, but even it rejuvenates us. You think about it. When we study Bhagavad Gita, how happy we are. Sometimes we get new messages. All of a sudden, we start cheering. That cheeringness, cheerful, when we are cheerful, body has a mechanism to release certain hormones, like serotonin and many other ones, which brings the memories back. So now, how to practice it? Before we get into it, one of the question comes. If God lives in the heart, means we feel happy, healthy, peaceful. Let me go back here. We feel that. And if he's there, he says, I live in your heart. Then why do I need to go to temples? Many times that question comes. God lives in the heart, my heart. Why do I need to go to temple? That's where we talked about the physical, the duality part, where we relate to temples. God is there, I am here. Here we are talking about non-duality, where God is within me. But the duality part, going to temple, is not bad. Yes, it is he lives in our heart, but going to temple, where we get the positive vibrations, we get the collective vibrations from there. When we are upset, sometimes we just go to temple or sit in our temple at home, and all of a sudden we feel like some energy is pouring on us. We get that energy, whether we experience or not, but we calm down after sitting there. And So going to temple is also very important. Whatever temple, whether it's a Ayodhya or Vaishno Devi or Amritsar or Brindaban or whatever resonates with you. But sometime if you get a chance, let me tell you, it's very good experiences. Sometimes we get a chance, we will share it. But basically, going to temple is as important as going into meditation. But if you are beyond that, you just work on the meditation part, on the non-duality part. And here is the chart. Here is a daily planner where first thing we have to think about, God is all. Vasudev Sarvam Iti. So when Vasudev Sarvam Iti comes, I am not the doer. He is the one who is guiding me to do. And with his guidance, when we get up in the morning, first thing, thank you, God, for waking me up. Then our mantras, reading Bhagavad Gita, whatever we do, we should do that. Start our day to set the trend of our day accordingly. And then whatever one message, I say read it, whatever one message, 3 verses, whatever you can do that. But make sure you take care of your body, do yoga, exercise, pranayama, meditation, and then improve upon one thing. Take one thing, whatever you think you need to improve upon, and work on it during the daytime. And also become a sakshi. Just observe yourself and see how you are doing, because the purpose here is to go beyond these miseries and experience who am I. In other words, from Jeev Atma, who we are, limited conscious being, to supreme conscious being, infinite conscious being, which is called man to God. So here, this chapter basically summarizes what we have learned so far. Vedas, Gita, help us to bring the awareness who we are, what kind of, how we behave, which is based on our gunas, how we should focus on detaching ourselves from the nonsense in our life, basically. And because whatever we think, those actions will come accordingly. But whatever actions we do, surrender to God, then we are always connected with supreme power, and we don't have to worry about it, self-improvement, detachments, everything, because all that comes automatically, and we feel that our heart is filled with eternal being. God is present, and then we experience it. We experience who we are. And then we evaluate ourselves. How did we do it? And then just surrender to him. Sarva dharman paritajyam. So we just and surrender to him, and then God's promise comes. And he says, Aham tvam sarpapebhyo mokshashyami mashuche. I will take care of you once you are connected with me. So our homework is here. Same, it will be repeat continuously, because the purpose of this homework is Swadhyaya Abhyasnam. Observe yourself, how am I behaving? Focus should be to go to the Param Dham. Param Dham means here the Vaikuntha I mentioned, and here through meditation, and feel the presence of God within. So the question comes, do I have a supreme goal of self-realization or reaching to Param Dham? Am I aware of my behavior? What am I attached with? Make a list and then surrender. See God everywhere. You will experience it. Do meditation, do all the spiritual practices. And then ask yourself, do I experience his presence in my heart? And the answer will be yes. With these practices, he says, I am with you. If you are with me, I am with you. So continuously ask the questions, self-inquiries, and then arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Swami Vivekananda. So continue on this journey So our sankalpa is today, I experience divine pleasure. So once we have the sankalpa bhavan, once we have this sankalpa, not the world is sankalpa, then little by little, shanai, upar med our pathway of our neurons in our mind will change. And little by little, we will reach to the place where our old memories will disappear, new memories will come, new sanskaras will build, and with the teaching with Bhagavad Gita, we will reap the fruit. And here you notice that I put the Bhagavad Gita in the heart. So that is a very big message here. Once you put the Bhagavad Gita in your heart, in your mind, you will bound to get love, peace, Anandam. But have a patience because it's not a quick fix. So thank you very much for knowing that the Param Dham of God place is in our heart. That is the power of His Shakti, divine Shakti. And by experiencing it, we will be beyond birth and death and freedom from pain and miseries. And we will live in happiness, happy life, peace, Anandam, which is called everlasting happiness and peace. So thank you very much for attending the presentation, this session. Where does God live? In your heart, in my heart.